Hello guys, it is Benjamin here, your Dallas Realtor, and today I'm going to talk about the 5 things I believe every buyer should be informed of before moving here to Dallas, Texas. And some of these things might affect your property's future value, so stay tuned. At number 1, we have weather. Now, just like most areas in the US, we have 4 seasons here. We have spring, summer, fall, and winter. And most of my clients or most of people's concern when they move here to Texas is the summer. And yes, it is hot. The hot months typically span from June to August, temperature highs averaging about 96 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. But with that being said, we have many ways to combat that. We have many lakes, many water parks, and many community pools, and fortunately, many indoor air-conditioned malls. Now, in terms of winter in Dallas, we have pretty mild winters with the winter months spanning from December to February, averaging highs from about 61 degrees to 56 degrees during the day, and then low 40s during the night. And usually the cold peaks in February with occasional once-a-year snowstorm or freeze. These freezes or snowstorms usually last about 1 to 4 days depending on the year. I believe it was 2020 we had a week-long snowstorm, and then last year 2022 we had a very short mild freeze. Now I will say Dallas pretty much shuts down during these freezes due to ice being on the roads, so you will see schools canceling school, businesses canceling work, and then overall just a lot less traffic than usual. And the reason for that is just to avoid accidents on the road. So you will see a short period of just low activity in Dallas. Now for the spring and fall months, we have great weather from temperatures hovering around low 60s and then highs of 80s. Now, during these 2 seasons, though, depending on the person, you might experience allergies. Personally, my family and my mom, we actually moved here to Dallas in 2014 to avoid the allergies that we had in Missouri. My mom and I, we still do have allergies here while we're living in Dallas, but they're not as intense as they were in Missouri, which is great. So just a heads up, there are allergies during the spring and fall seasons, just a heads up. Some common misconceptions that I hear about Texas and Dallas all the time is that we have very destructive tornadoes, which is not really the case. In the past 9 years I've been living here, I haven't experienced one destructive tornado. However, I have experienced many tornado sirens and a couple intense thunderstorms and hail. I'll talk about hail in just a second, but in terms of thunderstorms, they're not extreme. You know, I've seen a couple trees been blown over, but other than that, nothing crazy. Now, in terms of hail, I believe it was one instance in 2017 where we had golf ball sized hail that actually caused damage to many people's roofs, including ours. So we had to get that repaired. Fortunately, our roof was covered by insurance. Insurance always comes, saves the day. But yeah, so hail is something to keep in mind. Something else which is interesting that I've witnessed here is lightning hitting homes. I've seen homes' roofs been completely destroyed, but this is extremely rare, and you can protect yourself from that lightning by installing lightning rods to your roof if you want to. But I have seen it happen before, and I believe one of the reasons it does happen is because Texas is a very flat landscape, so maybe it might be easier for lightning to hit the house instead of maybe a tree on the hill, something like that. But that's just my thesis. At number 2, we have soil composition and foundation. Now in Dallas, we have a special kind of clay soil mixture that releases and absorbs moisture really easily, which causes expansion and contraction, which then leads to foundation issues, which typically show up more commonly in older homes. And this is also the reason why homes in Dallas don't have basements. I've only seen about 3 homes here that have had basements, and they were all mansions. So in summary, Dallas does have a lot of foundation issues, and you do want to avoid homes with large cracks along the interior of the walls, and then also large cracks on the exterior of the walls. If you see, step cracking along the brick, you do want to take a deeper look at that, because that can be an expensive repair. Usually repairs range from $5,000 all the way to $60,000 plus repairs. So you do want to consider that and for the most part avoid homes with large foundation issues. So moving on to number 3, we have schools and school districts. Now here in Dallas, schools and school districts are a huge deal. This could determine the value of your home. Of course, you got to factor in location, but depending on your school district, your home's value could be higher or lower. And that's because, for example, we have cities like Frisco and Prosper, which have highly sought after school districts, which makes them more expensive than other cities here in Dallas. I have a lot of clients who will only choose Plano, they'll only choose Prosper, or they'll only choose Frisco just because of their school. And that's a completely valid reason because it is the educational future for your children. So definitely something to consider. By the way, I do have an entire video about how to choose the best school here in Dallas. So if that does apply to you, go ahead and watch that video. At number 4, we have population growth and traffic. As many of you know, Dallas is the 5th fastest growing city in the US. And the reason for that is because we have low cost of living, we have no state income tax, and we have a ton of large companies either headquartered here or moving here. Just to name a few, we have Toyota, we have Charles Schwab, we have ExxonMobil, Texas Instruments, D.R. Horton, the list goes on. But essentially, these large companies are bringing a ton of job opportunities and a large population here to Dallas, which then causes, of course, more demand for housing and just more economic growth overall. And this is one of the reasons why I'm a huge believer in the Dallas market, because we are going to see continual growth over the next upcoming years. Now, with that being said, because we have so many people coming here to Dallas, we do see a bit of traffic, especially during rush hours, which span from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning, and then 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. during the afternoon. But in terms of traffic, it's not as overwhelming as you would think, because most stoplights here in Dallas are synced, which means you'll see a lot of green, then a green, then a green stoplight, which compared to Houston is much better. I hate to bash on Houston here, but in Houston, if you're driving, you'll notice that you'll hit a red, then a red, then a red, and it's just a much less efficient driving experience that you have in Houston. But in Dallas, it's not bad at all. At number 5, we have property tax. Now, like I mentioned before, Texas doesn't have state income tax, which is awesome. However, we do have a higher property tax with Dallas County, Collin County, and Denton County being around 2.2%. However, there are certain exemptions depending on your situation that you can save on tax. Now, definitely talk to your accountant about that, but just know there are certain options you can have depending on your situation. So in conclusion, even though property taxes are higher here in Texas than they are compared to other states, it is still an awesome place to live. So those are the 5 things I believe every buyer should be informed of before moving here to Dallas. Don't be afraid to give me a call or shoot me a text, because I help everyday people just like you move into this beautiful and prosperous city of Dallas. So with that being said, please smash that like button down below, and also comment down below what video you want me to make next. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.